So, hi everyone. So, today we would be looking at evaluating large language models. So, in the previous video, we looked at how Flan T5 was working for the process of, dialogue summarization. But at the end, we also saw that we were able to compare both of the dialogues that was generated by LLM and then the summarization that was already given to us. Okay. So, even in this video, we would be looking at how actually these LLMs are evaluated at the very back end. So we will first look at why evaluation is important in LLMs and why is it challenging. So coming to the part that why it is important, it's very obvious reasons. The quality assurance, ensuring that the models produce reliable and accurate outputs. Then you have to compare, different versions of models. Now see, suppose there is a model of GPT-2 and then there is model GPT-3. Now how would you compare both of them knowingly that both of them perform good on some set of data set? Now for that you will actually want to set a benchmark that okay, for this benchmark score I will evaluate it. So similarly both of the models would be tested on some kind of test. Let's say we both also do some test, and for that test we have some particular data set points that are allotted for that, and then we can evaluate them. You can think that similar to the term and test that we as students give, and you can even think that as the term and test that the models will be giving to generate it. Cool. So I will just connect to the runtime for making sure that the code also runs. So this would be just a brief overview of how evaluation metrics work for the very basic part, and we will be also looking at some benchmark scores that we have here. Now the challenging that are there, it comes to the diversity of tasks. Now I think most of you must have seen that meme that has been floating around Midjourney AI, in which if you tell the AI to create an image of a black man, actually a white man stealing from a store, the AI has been so much biased in that case that it will always produce an image in which a black person is stealing from the store. But even if you tell it willingly that generate an image in which a white person is stealing, what it did, it just made sure that the person who is stealing is black and the person is wearing white clothes. So that's the problem with biasness and diversity. Okay, now you can see here different tasks require different evaluation metrics. Obviously, when I talk about generative AI, there are different number of things that keep happening in the backend. How can we compare one with another? Similarly, for some tasks, especially that are those related to content generation, evaluation can be subjective. And computational cost, LLMs are massive and evaluating them can be actually computationally expensive, so we have to make sure that things go actually for inexpensive for us. Okay, so when it comes to common evaluation metrics, we have worked on all these two, accuracy, F1 score, precision, recall. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know that we have been working on this from the very beginning of TensorFlow videos. It measures the fraction of predictions that the model got right. Simple, very basic maths. Then these are used for classification tasks, especially when it comes to classes that are imbalanced. Then you have got ROC and BLEU. Now, when we use them for the tasks such as text summarization and translation to compare the similarity between the generated text and a reference text. Now, I will give you a very basic example how you can think of this like that. Suppose there is a person in my friend circle who speaks French. Now, I need to evaluate that the model which is converting the English text into French text, how good it is. Now, the person obviously who is native of France would be much better in speaking French than the model, which I have trained on some few parameters. Now, things will have to be evaluated based on the results that have been given to me by the model and the actual results which need to be there by my friend. So this was just an overview of example how things can actually work here. Now benchmarks are standardized data sets that evaluation procedures that help compare the difference of the models, obviously. Now I will give you some basic evaluation metrics that you can think of here. The first is glue and super glue. These are collection of tasks to evaluate the performance of a model on very wide range of NLP tasks. Because we are working on LLM here, you can think like that. Now I will give you a scenario. Suppose you are in 2021 and you are working on the GPT-3 model along with the AI researchers, OpenAI researching team. Now you would look at. You will look at glue and super glue. You would look at Squad, a data set for question answering. Now obviously the big bench which comes to measure the general intelligence of artificial intelligence, and other tasks, other like Helm and MMLU, which we will look at the very end, were were emerged after 2021. Obviously, you can't do that here, but you can actually look at these two here and do things accordingly. Now, what are the limitations of current evaluation methods? The overemphasis of benchmarks, achieving the state of art on benchmarks doesn't necessarily mean a model will evaluate well in real world. That's very obvious. Same comes to the future of LLMs. As LLMs continue to grow and evolve, so will be the methods to evaluate. So we have three kinds of things, more comprehensive benchmarks that cover wide range, a variety of tasks and challenges. Then you have frameworks that measure and account for biases and ethical considerations. So when it comes to ROG score, so it's used mainly for evaluating automatic summarization and the machine translation. Cool. When it comes to BLEU score, it is used for evaluating the quality of text that had been machine translated from source text. And then we will look at the evaluation benchmarks. Okay, so I will just run it. I hope the runtime has been connected here. I think there was some error. I will restart it if the problem continues. So yeah, coming to the ROG score. So ROG stands for here recall oriented understudy for existing evaluation. So it is a set of metrics to evaluate the quality of summaries by comparing them to the reference summaries. So the main type of ROG are the ROG N, L, and S. So if any one of you has been who has been learning data structure algorithm must be knowing about this longest common subsequence based statistics. So you use dynamic programming here to evaluate. So I think you get it what is actually happening here. So there are three types of score, even you can see here present, R, P, F, and then you have things here. So I will just run this, and the sample text are referenced. The cat sat on the mat. Then you have the hypothesis text. The cat was sitting on the mat, and then you will calculate the ROG score. I have just imported the ROG library that was here. Then you calculate according to hypothesis reference. Then you have scores, getting the score and then returning it. So all the results will be displayed here. Here you go. So it's 83.3, then you have 71.4, then you have 76.9, something like that. That was ROG 1, then ROG 2, then you have ROG L. So yeah, here you saw already N, L, S. So here are the results accordingly. So L, exactly what it's doing, longest common subsequence. Let's think something like that. The is here, cat was same here. Now the next word that is same here is A here, the longest common subsequence. Then you have what's the next word that is same? S is same here, and then containing the thing that reference would be the main one. Then you have S, then you have the A here. So yeah, the longest common subsequence you would either take one or not take one, and then you will compare both of the techniques, and then you can actually put DP. So I think even at the backend something like that would be working statistically. You see here. So yeah, that's the score accordingly. How you get it on the total length that is there. Now BLEU, it is the bilingual evaluation understudy. So it is a metric for evaluating a generated sentence. So I will just run this before the runtime again gets disconnected. For evaluating a generated sentence to a reference sentence. Now a perfect match results in a score of 1, while a perfect mismatch results in a score of 0.0. Now we will use a NLTK's implementation of BLEU. Now you see here the two things that are happening. I will just change it for the future. I will make it reference 1 and make sure that the same text is being used here. Now I would request you guys to go here, play and answer some of my questions so that things are crystal clear for you. Once it runs, we will get the results. Cool. So what we are doing, we are using the NLTK library here. That is the NLTK translate BLEU score, and we are importing sentence BLEU from here. Then we are calculating BLEU, the reference, the hypothesis. We split them and then we return the sentence BLEU. Whatever is happening at the back end, you can just go and look for it. If I would have to tell, I already gave you a hint in the beginning. It is a metric for evaluating a generated sentence to a reference sentence. So obviously, if there is a perfect match, you will get a score of 1, while the imperfect match would result in a score of 0.0. So I think there is some problem in the runtime. I will just restart it for now. Okay, cool. I will just restart it. Cool. Okay. I will just restart the runtime to make sure things work as we want them, and I will move to CPU because we don't actually need it. Okay, so both BLEU and ROG score are crucial metrics for evaluating the performance of a language model. Okay, now I would request you guys to go on this notebook, play with a good number of reference, sample, hypothesis, and make your own sentences and then test how things are working here. Now, when it comes to evaluation benchmark, we will look at few of them. You can actually go and look in each one of them in detail. I have attached some research papers here. At the end, I would recommend you guys to go and read them. How superglue came into this. Just open this, and then we have Helm, then we have MMLU. So while these all load, I will just tell you guys what is happening here. So coming to Glue, the General Language Understanding Evaluation Benchmark. So it is a collection of resources for training, evaluating, and for checking that, analyzing natural learning understanding systems across a wide range of tasks. Okay, now Superglue, it is an extension of Glue. Superglue is designed to be more challenging benchmark than its procedure. So I will just open the we will go here. Yeah, so an extension of Glue. So we will just look at the research paper here. If it opens, I think there's some problem. Oh, no, cool. So we will just go here, and you can actually go here and see what are the multitasking benchmarks that are used here to evaluate a LLM. Similarly, we come to HELM. It stands for Holistic Evaluation of Language Models. It is a living benchmark that aims to improve the transparency of language models. You can come here. So you can see all the things that are happening here. Multimetric measurement, standardization, all the 61 models that are here. The 59 metrics that are here. An exact match, absolute difference, everything. A lot of things are here. Even if you want to search for a favorite GPT model, it would be here. Yeah, here you go. It even has GPT-4. So cool. It even has GPT-4. And if you want, you can even score that. See, some of them are open. You can go and check it out. The description, model, creator, and everything is here. Some have limited and some are open. So you can go and just look at the model card. Yeah. So it's quite interesting. This website is quite interesting. And even I think in GPT they have all the they have OpenAI, every model, Babaji, they have DaVinci, everything is there. Cool. So you can go and see how things are working here. They have a lot of parameters on the basis of which they actually measure the performance. Same happens for MMLU. So okay, there's some problem loading the PDF. Not a problem. I think there's some internet issue from my side. Same happens with MMLU. So what it is? Stands for Massive Multitask Language Understanding. The test consists of multiple choice questions on various topics, including mathematics, history, law, and ethics. The difficulty of the test ranges from elementary to advanced professional levels. So you can see on the basis of these tasks, the models are ranked here. What was the accuracy? What was the things happening here? And these are all the models here. You can see, okay, Flan T5 I just saw, I think. Okay, obviously Flan T5 won't be here, but yeah, Flan T5 XL. Yeah, so 52.4% accuracy. That's okay. Then you have GPT-4, the latest one, and it's on the top with 86.4%. Why not? And you can look at the accuracy of, and you can even look at the technical report if you want to, the result, how it happened. Flan Palm that happened here, it is a fine-tuned one. Then you have Codex, and then you have Palm 2. You must be having Llama here, I think. Yeah, Llama. So yeah, things are working here accordingly. Now, if you want to look at the dataset, what things actually they consider it, we can actually go and look at it. Okay, so yeah, you do abstract algebra, tested concepts, then you do astronomy, that you anatomy, college medicine, everything that is happening here. Summary of all 57 tasks that happen, and according to the desired results and the results that are generated by LLM, we get the accuracy. So just think about that. On all these tasks, overall, we get an accuracy of 86.4% for the GPT-4. If you short k is equals to 5, the thing here, then you can go into the technical report. We got this accuracy. Cool. So Big Bench, same as that, behavioral intelligence for generalization benchmark. So it is intended to measure the difference, the general intelligence of an artificial systems, similarly using a wide range of tasks. So MMLU is used very oftenly by researchers and LLM engineers to measure their model's performance and just compare it with others. Yeah. So that was it from my side in this video. I would highly recommend you guys to go and play with this notebook. Put your things here and test how the results come. Similarly for Glue, Superglue and Big Bench, you have these research papers. I would recommend you guys to have a look on it and just learn about it, how things are working here. So yeah, that was it from my side. Thank you and have a nice day.